Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your first overview and test drive for the Pz.Sp.Wg.P204 KwK, which is a rank 1 battle rating 1.7 premium vehicle in the German Ground Forces tech tree. This is going to be, of course, the base level reward for the Summer Extreme event in the ground vehicle section of it, and is pretty much a combination of the AMD 35 chassis. As you can see here, this is the chassis from the French ground tech tree, plus a new turret and gun from the German forces. So this turret, if I'm not mistaken, is just kind of something that they developed. It's kind of unique to this vehicle, but it's pretty typical of something that they would do. They actually used to just make a lot of open top modifications and use their own cannons on vehicles that they captured, and this is no different. This right here has the 50mm KwK L42, which is fantastic and can be seen on the 1.3 BR Panzer IIIF, which, by the way, I voted as one of my top 10 rank 1 vehicles in a very recent video. Now, interestingly, this has a pretty reload time. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's It might even be about the same as the regular Panzer IIIF, so I might be kind of fooling myself here, but it really doesn't have much ammunition. It only has 26 rounds in total, and it only has very limited armor. Now, the benefit to having such a lightly armored turret for this is that a lot of the time, shells will just pass right through. And so, even at this BR, they might just overpen and not do any damage to the crew. So there's that. Now, this is a very lightly powered vehicle, if that makes any sense. Only 93 horsepower, and it might be that that is not including the transmission engine and filters, but even still, it's not going to be too much more than a 10-to-1 horsepower per ton power-to-weight ratio, which is pretty minimal. But when you're dealing with a light vehicle like this, especially one that has wheels, it's pretty damn good. So that being said, let's get into a test drive. I want to show this thing off real quick. I should hopefully have gameplay for it very, very soon. But overall, this is a very cool vehicle. I'm excited that it's coming to War Thunder. And of course, it has one of my favorite low BR cannons. Again, the 50mm KwK L42. So it's just a really, really cool overall package. It's a cool blending of French and German design. So that said, let's just test drive it. Oh, and by the way, here are the camouflages you can get. Bear in mind, these are not... And none of these are the camouflage that you can get as a special reward during the Summer Extreme event, but they still look pretty cool on this vehicle, being that this vehicle, I think, actually looks pretty cool. So that said, let's just test drive it. So this is a little bit screwy. I didn't even notice this in the hangar, but the shells are lining the side of the turret. So that is not good at all for survivability. So if you were hoping that you would survive a shot, let's just say to this, and it would come in, just completely miss your friend, it could blow up the ammunition and kill the entire crew. Also, the cannon breach does seem a little wonky right now. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but such is War Thunder. Now, this does not have any sort of a machine gun, but its 50mm cannon is perfect. Now, at 1.7 BR, I could see it work. I'm not really upset with this BR placement. The 50mm cannon on this is good. Whether this is better than the Panzer IIIF, I'm not entirely sure, but it is more mobile, so there's that. It's going to be a very, very much a give and take sort of thing with this vehicle. Plus, it's got really good gun depression and elevation angles. And it can even shoot through the turret of a T-34, which at least in part means that this is somewhat up-tierable. Like I said, this 50mm shell is plenty good. It's got around 30 grams of explosive filler equivalent, which is nice. And you can equip the PZGR, the Panzer Grenadier 40 APCR, which can go up through 116mm of armor at point blank. But even, like, let's say 500 meters and around 30 degrees, still 57mm of armor, which is pretty damn decent. That's about where you're going to start meeting the PZGR 39 in terms of its performance, but not bad. Also, I don't see a Panzer III ever hitting these speeds, at least not this easily. So despite the fact that this has a meh power-to-weight ratio, it's actually really, really mobile, which I am genuinely happy with. So overall, am I excited about this vehicle? Kind of, yes, no. The last ground vehicle, like the last base level ground vehicle that I was really happy with was the KwK for a summer event, but this actually seems pretty good. I'm interested to see what the mobility is going to do in a match. The turret traverse isn't bad. I mean, it's around 10 meters or 10 degrees per second, fully stock, which once you fully upgrade it, I wouldn't be surprised if you could get it upwards of 12 or 13, and that's with a fully, ace crew or expert crew or whatever. You can probably get this up pretty decent where it's going to be able to turn quicker, the turret that is, a little bit quicker than a lot of other vehicles in this BR. So this might be something that, in theory, it's like a 50 kill or a KwK 50 Puma in a way. This might be a troll vehicle that you see Germany send to top tier because of how ridiculous it is. I mean, it's just quick enough. It's got a pretty decent cannon, and I think it can fully traverse. Let me just go ahead and try this real quick. Even though it is a little bit slow, but again, this is the base level. You know, I don't have a crew assigned to this, thus it doesn't receive any crew benefit, like any multipliers from my crew experience. But with certain crew, I'm sure this can probably get upwards of 12 or 13, which isn't terrible at this BR. But yes, this is a fully traversable turret, which is really, really nice. So that means that you can scout with it. You can, well, I mean, you can't scout with it, but you can flank enemies. You can do a whole bunch with this vehicle. So I'm actually kind of impressed by it. So that said, thanks so much for watching. I will try to get gameplay out for this vehicle, hopefully fairly soon. I do definitely want to show this thing off. It's a really cool vehicle in my opinion. But either way, thanks again, and I will see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.